All right, awesome. Hey, Gaurav, welcome to the mock interview today. And today, what we'll be doing is we will be asking you a product design question. But before we get there,
Mm.
would you like to quickly take a minute and introduce yourself?
Sure. First of all, thank you for bringing me in for this opportunity. I'm basically from Shimla, Himachal, a small town. Did my BTech last year, throwing my hat virtually from SRM, Chennai. And post that, I'm working currently in coding as an inside sales executive. But yeah, my product interest started in building in last August 2020, and since then, just to sum up, for last 10 or 11 odd months, I've been learning virtually and like exploring my interest, and like yeah, that's all about me till now.
Awesome. Thanks, Gaurav, for that introduction. We will jump right into the question. And the question for you is uh, how would you design a video streaming app for kids?
Okay, sounds interesting. Okay, got it. So by defining kids, do we have anything like the age segment that we are looking into? Like they might be teenagers or like early kids or like anything on that?
Yeah, I would say let's choose an age group of 5 to 10.
Okay, got it. Really early in their life, post like they might be into their kindergartens probably, and like post kindergarten they will be in their early classes if they say. Okay,
Yeah, roughly I would say
interesting. Okay.
classes 2 to 5 or 1 to 5 kind of students.
Hmm. Yeah. Got it. So why are we building this app? Do we see some goal that we are trying to like there might be like it might be an educational app or it might be some like interface to like just help them understand some video concepts or might be coding itself coming into the picture very often. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would let you define, what use case we want to solve for. But in my mind, the major thing is, today there are a lot of apps in the market, right? Like you have YouTube, you have,
Mm,
bunch of other video streaming apps like Vimeo, etc. None of them are, and you of course have, all the streaming applications like Netflix, Hotstar, etc. Right, but none of them are very,
mm,
very custom made for kids. Right, there are a couple of apps which have those facilities, but assume that you are a new startup which is trying to enter into the area which specializes in apps for kids, and uh, think about what
mhm.
we can design.
Got it. Got it. Do we have any primary focus on the type of content that we might be displaying on this app?
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, right, we can define that as we go through the
Mhm.
process. The only thing that I would say is, since this is like a new company, we would like to focus more on engagement, right, and then bringing people on board the app, right. So maybe put that lens in your mind and then go about it.
Got it. Got it. So like on the goal side, we want to gain new user base and basically then engage with them as much as we can. Got it. So are we focusing on any geography or like what is the scope of that we are looking like? It might be just a city or it might be a nation or like worldwide.
Yeah, I think we are thinking about India, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, eventually we want to grow to all geographies, but for discussion's sake, let's say we start with some of the major tier one cities in India.
Got it. Got it. Mm-hmm. Okay, and just one final question that I have is, are we considering any competition out here, like all the alternatives like YouTube and etc. in this segment, or like should we assume that we don't have any competitors as for now?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely consider all of these applications as competitors, right?
Mm-hmm,
And we could also say that since these are kids, you have secondary competitors like, their playtime or, bunch of other things that they like to do. And, here you're trying to
mm-hmm,
introduce like a video streaming app where we want to get uh,
mm-hmm,
new kids, right? So I would consider all of those as
mm-hmm.
competitions there.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. So, like, just to sum up the all pointers that we got till now, we are trying to build a new video streaming app that is specifically focused for 5 to 10 years of the age segment of the kids, and it should be a, custom-made product that is just focusing on this user segment. The goals that we have defined as for now is that we want new users to build come up on the app, and basically we are able to engage with them.
Mhm,
Moving ahead, we are just focusing on the tier one cities as for now, and we might
mhm.
look into as we ship the product, we might look into different geographies as well,
Yeah,
and also considering the other alternatives and competitions in this segment.
absolutely.
Got it. Is there any other information that you would like to give me, or anything that I've missed till now?
No, I think we're good. You've clarified most of the important things, so we can move forward from here.
Sure. Okay. I'll just think to just get a structure around it, how I'll go about solving it.
Mhm,
So the first segment that I've done is like asking questions. Second, I'll try to think of the users or the customers that we might have, because users might be different and the customers might be different out here.
mhm,
If we go for a paid version for that.
mhm,
Post that, I'll try to have some pain points of them, and
mhm.
basis on the pain points that we see, we can prioritize those, and basis on basically the use case, or as per that we can have a single priority as for now, as we are building a new product that is like
Sure.
MVP. And
Sounds good.
on top of that we can have some solutions,
Mhm,
to and by ending we might have some success metrics attached to the solution itself, so that we can map out our hypothesis and how we go ahead. So this is my approach.
mhm,
First, I'll try to think for the user segments. Second, I'll go about the understanding their pain points and make some build hypothesis. Moving ahead, I'll try to solve them, and and close it by some success metrics aligning to the solutions.
sounds good.
Okay. Okay. I'll just take few minutes out here to just uh, differentiate between the users and the customers.
Mhm.
I think so. As for now that I'm thinking, we might have only two user segments out here. First
Mhm,
will be the kids itself who might be using the app, and the
mhm,
secondary users will be the parents itself,
mhm.
because they are very small. So kids might be the parents might be assisting their kids, or they might be buying the subscription model if we have around it. That is a
Mhm,
total different thing to talk about. But
mhm,
yeah, so the primary users will be the kids itself in this age segment from 5 to 10,
mhm,
and the secondary users will be the parents itself who will be using this app as well.
mhm, mhm. Got it.
Now let's try to understand why they might be coming to this app on the when we have a lot of competitors out there. basically these kids will be like spending their time in their some time on uh I'm first of all I'm considering the post-COVID case, like when they might be the
Mhm.
things might be normal. I hope so. Yeah. So
Okay.
first thing they might be like these kids will be like they might be going to school, they might be having their like half day spent down the school. Post
Mhm.
that they might be coming back home, they might be tired, resting for a while, and then get back to play because they might these kids will be majorly playing around and like having fun uh,
Mhm.
throughout the days. Like they don't have any other responsibilities or like any other thinking process. So that is the like about the kids itself. Talking
Mhm.
about the parents' concerns, uh, since it's in today world, everyone is glued to their devices. The kids will be seeing their parents on the devices, and that might be the learnings that they might see in their early age that devices are all about. So it makes sense that we build something around it because the parents like when kids come to internet, a lot of things like basically like say there might be privacy concerns or like content concerns for parents which because internet is very vast, and privacy basically it is a concern for parents where the kids are lining up, or is there uh, like they might not land on some wrong websites, or like they might not go into wrong content at that age of point that might be concern for parents.
Mhm.
um,
Sounds good.
uh, Also, since the kids are out there, like they have a tendency, uh, like they might not go directly to platform like this YouTube, where they might learn and adapt to YouTube, but they might not find it very interesting because it is not specifically solving for kids. It's basically a general product where videos are being streamed. If we have something around like specifically like understanding the kids' behavior, adding some colorful effects, or like that might be making sense for the kids.
Mhm.
So, like just to sum up, the pain points that I have, three pain points. First, the competitors or the other alternatives are not very specific to the kids. The first pain point is that for parents and the kids itself. The second is for this user segment, the privacy and the basically the content that the product itself is viewing, like the kid is viewing. That might be another concern or pain point basically, where they are using YouTube and other alternatives. Mm, and third pain point might be like how they can how this product basically can add to their uh, kids' life, like where they can add value. So that
Mhm.
might be the three pain points.
Sure. Sounds good.
Uh, anything that you might like to add in this, like any concern from the parent side or the kid side that you think?
Yeah, I think you've captured the parents' use case also pretty well, right? Where they would be concerned about security, and sometimes the use case might not just be about the kids not able to use YouTube or not finding it interesting, but also the kids restricting them for using an uh, a, an application like that where all videos are open, right? So that I
Mm,
definitely think is like a great pain point that you've highlighted, um, right? Uh, could you also maybe like spend a minute? I think we've already defined good use cases, but if you could think about what else could be like a kid's pain point, right? For why they would
mm.
want to go to this particular application,
Got it.
right? Like, or
Got
their
it.
use
Specifically
cases,
from kids.
right? Which will be helpful to be solved by a video streaming app.
Okay. So I'll take a step back out here uh,
Mhm.
and try to understand like what they do basically throughout the day. They might be, if they go on YouTube and alternatives presently, they might be seeing some uh, videos of cartoons,
Mhm.
that might be the case. They might be seeing some videos like some educational videos like simple alphabet videos where they are having some nursery rhymes or something like that.
Mhm.
Like basically educational videos. Second, mm, also there might be some like bedtime stories for kids. Like they might be looking before sleeping. So I think
Mhm.
so. Uh, it will sum up their whole day where
Mhm.
they might be looking for cartoons. Second, they might be looking for educational videos, and third might be the bedtime stories.
Sounds good.
Got it. Now we have two different kind of uh, things, like on the kid side as well and on the parent side as well. Okay, I'll try to now think of some solutions. How should we go ahead and basically prioritize the whole thing first? Because since we are building something new, catering to everything in a single go might not make sense. Catering step by step and
Mhm.
building for one use case, and then basically it's as per the engagement we can grow and basically add more layers to the product itself.
Mhm.
On the prioritization side, I'm thinking from this perspective, what things are missing on alternatives that are in the specific, as again, going
Mhm.
back to the problem statement, we want a custom made video app, streaming app for this use, this segment itself, the kids.
Mhm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so I think so. We can go ahead with cartoons first
Mhm.
because let me think. Cartoons might require us to build a content around it as well. So I'll not prioritize it. Second is educational videos. Uh, Educational videos, we have already might have some content around it. Like we might not build something very differently. And the
I think
third is the
let's
bedtime
not
stories.
worry about the content, right? Let's assume we can, crowdsource content or sign some agreements with
Mhm.
educational institutes or cartoon makers, and then get that content readily at very affordable prices.
Sure. Okay. Okay, got it. So the content is not an issue for us. So okay. So I'm thinking of what features should go in the first level product. Okay, I think so. We can touch upon 3 points out here.
Mhm.
The first thing that basically will make us different from our competitors will be if uh, we are making a custom made for this own user segment, so we can start with building a gamified platform
Mhm.
where basically a lot of content content like colors, icons are basically very specific to kids. Like they're not just like gray and black or some basic colors. Like
Mhm.
it is very poppy and very color that might make the whole platform very intuitive for kids to interact with. That is the first point we should definitely build upon, because we need a USP basically that will make us different from already existing apps and the
Mhm.
alternatives like YouTube. Second, keeping in mind uh, the concern from the parent side, we can have the watch history and basically how much time the kid is spending on the app on day-to-day basis. That might be the second feature itself on the platform that will be making us like watch history is something that comes out to be uh, very prioritized thing, because the kids like parents might not be sitting all the time with the kids itself when
Mhm.
when they are using this app. So watching it after that might help them basically to understand where the kid is landing and what he's spending time upon. And also this can help to analyze how much time they are spending on the app.
Got it.
The third thing, it is the third thing will require some time, and I might not prioritize in the first thing, but yeah, we can have some content filters which parents can set up on the app. Like they want the kids to have just the educational videos running on that app, or it might be just the cartoons, or might be the bedtime stories itself. So basically, as we might have the content crowdsourced from n number of sources, so parents can have a filter around it, and this can be added into the V2 version of the app.
Mhm.
So to sum up again, uh, the version one will ship with basically the content is not an issue. So the first thing comes up is the platform should be very intuitive, where the it is very you specific. The UI is basically very specific to kids, where they are able to interact with the app with more poppy colors or like my animated animations or sounds. That is the first thing. And second, to make it different, we should have the watch history and the time that parents can see where the kids is landing upon.
Mhm. Sounds good.
Do you want to add something on this?
Yeah, no, for the problems that you've chosen, these solutions sound decent to me.
Got it. I'll then just move ahead with the success metrics
Mhm.
that we can attach to the MVP, like the first version. As going back again to the goal, we want to increase the number of users and the engagement on the platform. So I'll think on the same line so that we are able to track our goals.
Mhm.
Okay, I think so. I have three success metrics out here.
Mhm.
The first is again mapping them to our initial goals to understand the new users and the engagement on the platform. The first is uh, a number of new users that might be coming on the platform itself. Might be we can map it to some specific timing like daily, weekly, or monthly,
Mhm.
and basis on that we can track on this time frame how many we have like a dip or an increase in new users coming on the platform. The second will be uh, like the average session length on daily basis. That is
Mhm.
for say if you have 100 users coming in today, so how much the average session their length they are spending on the platform itself. Like
Mhm.
10 100 kids come, uh, they might have some different timings. We can average it out and have that as a metrics second matrix. And the third matrix is uh, like how many number of videos that are watched in a single day. Basis on that, we'll be able to define whether the content that we are serving to our audience, is it like worth it, or like they are engaging and they are getting looped in. And basically, if the number of videos are increasing, the person watch, so that will directly link us to like basically map us to engagement. So I think so. These three metrics will help us understand the whole understand the initial goals that we have set up, the engagement and the new users.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good, Gaurav. I think we did well, and just in the interest of time, we will move to like quick feedback. So would you like to take a minute and also state what did you think you did well and what could you have done better?
Uh, so I think so. I did good on the metric side to like to just map out to them the end goal that we had, and as building from the scratch. So I think so that was good part. I think so where the second part where I could have improved is when I defined the user segment, the primary and the secondary. I could have prioritized that on the first itself. That what we have the focus onto, like are we thinking from a parent's perspective, or are we want to build from a kid's perspective? And basis on that, that might uh, narrow down the pain points, and basically then uh, we'll be uh, we'll be able to uh, like we would have a razor sharp focus to solve for that. So that I think so that I missed, that we can prioritize on the user segment itself.
Got it. Thanks, Gaurav. So yeah, I think overall I had like a pretty amazing interview experience with you. You were very, very comprehensive in terms of the questions that you asked, and all the questions were, in fact, uh, like good questions. I didn't feel that you asked questions just for the heck of asking questions, right? All of them were used in your interview process. Uh, I think your structure was great. It shows that you are like a pretty well practiced interviewee. So that is awesome. And the framework was good. You took
Yeah.
time to explain the framework and then dived into each of the topics. So that was amazing, right? Not a lot of people do that. You took the right pauses to think.
Hmm.
Except for one place where you were thinking which features to prioritize. I think most of the other pauses were well timed. I think maybe you got lost in like
Hmm.
so many features that you had defined, so you took time and then you went back and forth in your own head in terms of what have I done. uh, right, so that was
Right.
great. I also like the fact that you focused on the users as well as who are going to be like secondary users, or if you want to call it customers, right? That was pretty good.
Hmm.
uh, you empathize with the kids in terms of how do they spend their time during the day, to think about areas where this
Hmm.
video streaming app could become part of their day. That was good.
Hmm.
Thinking from the parents' perspective in terms of privacy was good, right? The
Hmm.
overall prioritization perspective of launching, uh, keeping in mind what's not available in competitor products, was again a great prioritization framework for this particular problem. And I also
Hmm.
love the idea where even though you came up with like a bunch of features, you also prioritized V1s and V2s based on like the
Hmm.
uh, solution time that it would take. Although I would contest a little bit on whether what you put in V2 would have taken as much time, right? Or should it have been
Hmm.
like part of V1 itself to become like a minimum lovable product, in addition to like a
Hmm.
minimum viable product, right? And you did
Hmm.
summarize at multiple points, which was pretty amazing. Metrics were decent, right? I somewhere felt that like the average session length and number of videos watched would have
Hmm.
is probably a great metric in terms of uh, when we are trying to get kids addicted to this platform,
Hmm.
right? But
Right.
in terms of parents, because these are kids, you maybe they would want to restrict the amount of like session length. Uh, So eventually, I
Mm,
do not see like this app becoming something where people spend exorbitant amount of time, right? It also depends on the
mm,
goals, though, right? If it's like totally educational, and it replaces some
mm,
part of their curricula, right? Then maybe
mm,
the more time kids are spending, the more they're learning. Where the
mm.
parents might be incentivized for increasing that time, but otherwise, if it is just entertainment content, they would want to restrict the amount of time, which is something that you also touched upon when you were devising the formulas, right? So these are all great
Right,
things.
right, right.
Yeah, I think from a constructive feedback standpoint, I I think at one place you said that the customers, parents might be the customers if they paid, right? Which I thought was not
Mm,
always the case, because you're anyways going to buy the device for the kids, right? And you regulate your
mm,
kids' behaviors for most parts. So irrespective of whether the
mm,
app is paid or not, they are anyways going to become stakeholders for this app's usage or
mm.
popularity, right? Um, I think
Right.
one thing that maybe I was looking forward to is you diving into like separate segments within like the 5 to 10 age group as well, right? Like kids who are more art focused, or kids who are more education material focused, or kids who are like very scientific in nature and who like to browse through scientific material, right? Maybe we could have done like some
Got it.
segregation there, so that we could have gone to
Based
like
on
some.
the interest.
Yeah, or it could also have been like kids who do not watch any educational material at all, and then we're trying to build something which
Mm.
gets their interest into watching them.
Narrows down
uh
that. Mm,
yeah.
mm,
So I think those were a couple of things that we could have done as well. um
mm,
yeah, and I think in general, kids like to watch videos, right? That's my sense from even like if it's a very small kid, you show them a video and they
mm,
stop crying, right? So by nature, I feel like most
mm.
kids are attracted to videos. Uh,
Right.
so from a parent's perspective, you could have actually thought about things where you could have gamified a little more, where if the kid completes their homework, then the parents could
Reward
charge like
points.
so many minutes into the kids
Uh-huh.
watching it, and then that would have become like pretty interesting, right? I was just thinking about it when you
Mm.
were coming up with the watch minutes and history kind of thing. So that would have been like pretty interesting, right? So, but yeah, overall, I think
Something very unique.
great
Mm.
attempt. Right, I don't know what do you think about this feedback, but that was my observation. Overall, I enjoyed the process, so it was pretty fun.
Thank you. I enjoyed it as well. And like as you told that it might be very unique. It's now striking my mind. We can have a lot of things around it. Like there might be like they might have some points coming in. Like we can have some uh, points that they can showcase to their friends and like in community that might also build in the engagement from other users as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you could have like built some competitions between kids for educational videos, and like brought in
Hmm.
quizzes which they answer, and you could do like multiple
Hmm.
things with it.
Right,
Awesome.
right. Makes sense.
Cool. Thanks, Gaurav, for interviewing with us. It was nice engaging with you, and talk to you again later. Bye.
Sure. Thank you. Be safe. Bye bye.